Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings to everyone. So I will be the representative for our group, which is group 3, to present the project for the course BNR 27403 named Computer Aided Designs. So we are from section 1 and 2. Credit also given to our beloved lecturer Encik Omar bin Abu Hassan, who has taught and guided us to complete this project. So back to the topic. The project models that we chose is electrical hair dryer. Okay, so before we move to the model, let me introduce to our group members. So the leader is Koh Ming Ray, CN 1901189 from BNE. Next to him is me, Muhammad Nur Aiman bin Zuhaini, AN 1901156 from BND. And next we got Linda Low Yi Woon, AN 1901179 from BNE. And then Nur Hasha Afikah binti Ahmad Jahid, AN 190095 from BNE. And last but not least, we have Nur Ain Nafisah binti Abdul Razak, AN 190076 from BNE. Okay. So for introduction, basically many people are familiar with the daily routine of washing, drying and styling their hair. Okay, hair dryer, which are also known as blow dryer, are used to dry hair by speeding up the evaporation of water from the hair surface. Although the hair will eventually dry on its own if we give enough time, but most of the people will reach for a hairdryer to speed up the process to save time. So for the basic components or concept of hairdryer, it uses motor-driven fan and heating element that made from coiled nichrome wire. uh, the generated airflow by the fan will be directed down the barrel of the hairdryer over and through the heating element to generate heat warms air by convection by forced convection. And lastly, the hairdryer has high and low airflow setting, which means it has switch button to control the spinning and speed of the fan.
The objective of this project is to be able to design electrical equipment and components of a hairdryer using AutoCAD 2021 to measure and evaluate a student's skills using AutoCAD on how much the knowledge adapt for this subject, to understand the function and properties of a hairdryer clearly, to be able to prepare basic technical documentation of design electrical equipment. Our problem statement is renewable generation that can effectively deal with complex and each part of an application. Currently, one type of electric application is commonly used nowadays in many places in the world. That is a hairdryer for their hair. It helps to dry people's wet hair, especially in this modern era. But there are still several issues with hairdryer that can be solved, such as hairdryer overheating, blockage, and hairdryer set high setting. In this project, the proposed development of a new hairdryer system is addressed by AutoCAD. This system will reduce heating elements using wire by improving the material properties of these parts of the hairdryer and obtaining a much more light and cost-effective design.
Okay, next for the members' job scope or distributed task. Okay, so for the first one is Koh Ming Ray. He designed the main body and nozzle, and then for chapter 3, he do the part of design process. And next, for chapter 4, he is responsible to do the overall orthographic view since he also compiled all the drawing models. Next is Linda Lo Yi Woon. She is responsible to do the chapter 1, which is the overview of the drawing. For chapter 2, she design the power plug. Next for chapter 3, she do the discussion part, and then for chapter 4, she do the conclusion part. And then for Nur Hasha Afikah binti Ahmad Jahid, for chapter 1, she do the objective part, and then for chapter 2, she design the switch of the model, and last one, she compiling all the videos presentation. And then Nur Ain Nafisah binti Abdul Razak, for chapter 1, she do the part of problem statement and Gantt chart. And then for chapter 2, she design the air intake. And the last one, she also responsible to do the slides of presentation. And last one is me, Muhammad Nur Aiman bin Zuhaini. For chapter 1, I do the introduction part and team members job scope. For chapter 2, I design the handle and cable. And last one, I responsible to do the minutes of meeting.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Nu'ain Nafisah binti Abdul Razak. Matric number AN 190076. So I will cover topic Gantt chart. So this is our group Gantt chart. On week 10, we create our group and submit to the lecturer. We also discuss our design on week 10. We choose hair dryer as our prototype. On week 11, we submit a proposal, and after some discussion with lecturer, we make a bit correction at our proposal and submit it on week 12. We discuss to make the prototype and design the project on week 12 and 13. After a discussion to make a report, we submit it on week 14. The report are made during week 13 and 14. So presentation, we do it on week 14. Thank you.
My name is Linda and my matrix number is AN 190179. So I will continue our presentation, which is the overview part. So first of all is our cover. Cover is to protect all the internal part, and the sides cover is to protect the motor. Nozzle is to concentrate the flow of the air in a particular direction, and the motor is the main function is to turn the fan, and the switch is regulate the amount of air, and the last is the electrical wire is to get the electric energy from the source. Next, we go through our equipment used, which is the main housing body, metal ruler, nozzle, handle, wall plug, air intake, cable, and the power switch. So this is our full part of the electrical hair dryer, which consists all the equipment we create with all the members.
Now I would like to elaborate about the procedure of drawing the main housing body using AutoCAD software. First step of drawing the main housing body is to draw a first 4 circle using circle command. Two circle with the radius of 30 millimeters and 45 millimeters. These circles represent the top layer and bottom layer of the main housing body. On the second step is to make sure the spaces between the two circles is 2.89 millimeters apart. And third step is to move the inner circle 90 degrees with the original circles with the distance of 125 millimeters. And the fourth step, which is the final step, loft command is selected to apply on the top and bottom circle to close up the gap, between them, which connects the top circle and bottom circle to make the shape of the main housing body. Next is the step of drawing the nozzle of the hairdryer. The first step is to draw a circle with the radius of 45 millimeters with a circle command. Secondly, two parallel lines with 52.6 millimeters of length is drawn with line command with 16 millimeters apart from each other. On the third, a fillet command is used to join both ends of the line of the parallel to make sure it has a curvy appearance or to form an oval shape. And the fourth step, the oval shape is then moved to the top using move command with 44 millimeters apart from the circle. And for the final step, which is the fifth step, loft command is used to join in order for them to form an object that looks like a nozzle.
So I will continue with a intake pipe. First, I make the two circle using circle command with radius 40 and 45 millimeter. After that, I move the 40 millimeter circle to the top of the 45 circle with length 10 millimeter. Using loft command, I connect these two circle and it become like this. And I use solid editing shell and remove the bottom face and set the offset 1.79 and it will become like this. After that, on the top of 40 millimeter circle, I use line. The length is 80 millimeter. I divide it to 4 parts. After that, I drew this rectangle, 4 rectangle. The length is 32.5 and the width is 2 millimeter. After that, to make this part, I use circle command with length 10 millimeter, 20 millimeter, 30 millimeter, 15 millimeter, 25 millimeter, and 35 millimeter. After that, for the curve, I use circle command, circle 10 radius, and using 2 millimeter radius, I set it to 2 millimeter radius. And after that, I trim the unused line and extrude all the rectangle, this part, and it will become like this. Thank you.
Okay, next is the handle. Okay, this is the drawing of the handle in 2 dimension, while this is the drawing or object of the handle in 3 dimension. Okay, first we make 3 ellipse using the ellipse center command with 15 millimeters from center for the first axis and 10 millimeters from center for the second axis. Okay, this one, the first ellipse, second, and the third ellipse used before we combine into an object. Okay, next we make a straight line of on upward from the one of the center of the ellipse using line command with length 80 millimeters here. Okay, next we move the another center of the one of the ellipse, the other one, using move command. We move it on the opposite side of the line. Okay, we move it here, and then we make a curve or an arc on the edge of 15 millimeters of both of these ellipse by using start and angle command with angle 30 degrees. Okay, next step we use a loft command to the both ellipse here that are connected with this line. We use loft command to and guide the both of the ellipse to the arc here and then we change the visual style controls from 2D wireframe. We can change to realistic uh, and shaded and others to make object. Okay, and then for next part is we make a circle using a circle command. We make it here in the on the center of the ellipse on the top here, which with radius 2.5 millimeters, and then we make a hole at the circle there using press pull command to make a hole. Okay, and then for the uh, bottom parts here, we make another ellipse using the ellipse center command with 10 millimeters from center for the first axis and 7.5 millimeters for the from center for the second axis. And next we make this one. Okay, this one is the and next we make a straight line on the center of the ellipse using line command with length 20 millimeters. And then using a move command, we move the center of the step I said just now to the another center of the ellipse to connect it, to be connected to the line. And then we make another line using line command with length of 10 millimeters uh, on the center of the ellipse, 10 millimeters and 7.5 millimeters from center. And then by using circle command, we make another circle with radius 2.5 millimeters on the edge of the line. Okay, next we use loft command to join the circle and the other two ellipse to make object. And then we make a hole at the circle using press pull command. And lastly, we use move command to join these two objects to make an object of the handle.
For the procedure of drawing the cable, first two circles with a radius of 2.5 millimeters are drawn. The second step, one of the circles is moved away from the original position with a distance of 430 millimeters apart. Third, a command line spine is selected to connect both of the circles in the middle. Fourth, the command line sweep is used to create a 3D surface object that represents a cable. This makes the drawing to become a cable.
Now we go to the part of how power switch are made. Firstly, the two rectangles are drawn using a 12.79mm times 14.91mm line. Then make a middle rectangle using 4.28mm times 14.91mm line to combine both of the rectangles. Finally, I extrude 3.41mm for the both side rectangle. Meanwhile, extrude 4.44mm for the middle rectangle.
Okay, so the last part is the wall plug. For the wall plug, we also have to do the 2D and the 3D part. So for the 2D part, we use the first angle projection to success it. So for the left hand side is the side view, and this one is the front view, and this one is the top view. Okay, so next is how we can do the 2D orthographic view to the 3D modeling. So first is we need to make a square with the length 50 mm and the width also the 50 mm. Okay, so then the radius for the curve at each corner of the square is the radius with 15 and the 5 mm. So second, we using the extrude command to extrude the 25 mm of the wall plug body. Then using the slide command for part of the wall plug body with 50 mm and the 32.5 mm. The central pin of the plug is to make a rectangle with length 20.5 mm and the width with the 13 mm. Then extruded to 4 mm. So last is for the two bottom pins are also to make two rectangles with length 13.5 mm and the width with the 3.8 mm. Then also extruded to 4 mm. So after this process, we can success it to do the wall plug. So this is a success model. Okay, thank you.
So after the ball plug, so this is our discussion, which is the auto command used to withdraw the project. So first of all, it's a very common that is the line and
Go, arc, trim, extrude, union, and loft. Okay, so our difficult part when we do the AutoCAD is the command joint and the press pull sometimes cannot be used in one track. It has to try many times to use it. So next is the AutoCAD use crash after some commands are used. So our idea to improve the device about the electrical hair dryer is put the cradle for long wire so that they could be exposed only when using the dryer. This cradle is twofold, can be the wire wrapper. The wire is not visible when not in use. Improved by adding the extend function at the holder so that user can easily dry hair on the top of the head and without raising the hand to dry the hair and the back side of head. Yeah, so that's all for our discussion part.
Now is to explain regarding about of our design process. We will illustrate our design process with the help of a flow chart. As you can see, after starting, we will proceed with choosing a project title and proposal writing, which in this case our title is hairdryer, and if the title is approved, we then continue with the title research and literature review of the hairdryer. After the research, tasks is divided among group members and a deadline is set for all the work for the purpose of task evaluation. If the work is good and we are satisfied with it, we will then proceed with the work of report writing and constructing the learning outcome of while doing this project. And that's the after the constructing learning outcome and report writing, and it is the end.
Okay, so in conclusion, the main objective for the project has been achieved. That is to draw the electrical hairdryer by using an AutoCAD by means of reversing engineering. Students improve skills in drawing orthography, exploded, assembly, and isometric views. AutoCAD has reduced the time taken to draw the drawing instead of drawing manually. Students also learn how important teamwork is for us to finish project on time. So we also able to overcome problems as all of the teammates cooperate. So that's all for our group presentation. Thank you very much.